Alright, we're gonna take that sweet lulling branch for that sweet extra FP. Not that we're gonna need it though, because just look at this.
Baba Booey.
Holy fuck.
Baba Booey.
What is up, guys? It's Drake Soul here with a new video, this time showing you an intelligence build. This is my take on the intelligence build. I wanted to make it thematical, so we are basically a shinobi. We're using all the weeaboo stuff that all the anime fans like. Here are the stats. We are rocking 70 intelligence, although in combat we're gonna have 80. We started as an astrologer. Here's like a quick peek at all the weapons we're gonna use, but we're mostly going to be using both Moonveil, because if there is a build that has the right to use Moonveil, it's probably this one. And we're gonna be using the Starlined Sword as main weapons. Just look at this shit, it's basically like the most anime shit you can do. And in the case of the Starlined Sword, it has a deceptively long range with its Ash of War, good combo capabilities, and it just looks cool as fuck. Not to mention that we're also going to be rocking not just one Staff of Loss, but two Staff of Loss. And that's going to be... Is this Loss? That's going to be one of the main characteristics of this sorcery build, is that we're going to be casting night sorceries. These staves boost the damage of night sorceries by a decent percent, so equipping it on both hands is going to land you even more damage. Here's the fashion. Talismans are centered around sorceries, although you can swap it for a Millicent talisman or multi-hit talismans if you run out of SP, which is unlikely, and the Shrouding Tears for boosting magic damage. Anyways, let's get straight into the invasions. Now, this build may seem, you know, kind of like a normal build, but it's actually kind of a little bit deceiving in the sense that I have an ace up my sleeve. It's something I haven't told you yet, but you probably could figure it out if you know a bit about the game, if you know about a certain characteristics. And of course, I'm not talking about that Miriam's vanishing into Honor Bow, although that is very powerful indeed. Basically, the main attraction of the build is the fact that we can almost one-shot with this Night Comet, although it's not the best projectile because it doesn't have a lot of tracking. You know, it can catch people off guard, just the sheer amount of damage, the fact that it can punch through opponents and damage not just one but 2 or 3 opponents that are lined together. That's not Miriam vanishing though, that's just a cut I made just for you guys to be sure that Miriam's vanishing is not that cool. But yeah, and we're also working, of course, Rani's Dark Moon, because we're reaching 80 intelligence, so why not? Rani's Dark Moon being a spell that both debuffs your opponent twice, like it debuffs in the sense that it makes them take more magic damage, but it also frostbits them, so they also take extra damage from all sources. And it basically is a build that can use anything that's intelligence driven, given the fact that we're reaching 80 intelligence. Nightshard is also a decent alternative. It's not great compared to its counterpart, which is Swift Glintstone Pebble, basically because of the fact that it doesn't have good tracking as well, but it gets boosted by the staffs. And this is the thing that I'm talking about. This is the secret dirty little thing about this build, is that you can make yourself untargetable. If you cast Assassin's Gambit, which I'm casting with a dagger, an offhand dagger, and then you cast Hidden Body, although I believe in this game it's called Unseen Form, the enemy is not going to be able to lock onto you. And it is a pretty decent buff. I mean, it is like a 30-second thing. In theory, it is a glitch, quote-unquote. It's not intended, I think, but it's also like not a big deal. They haven't patched it, although that's not an excuse. My excuse is that it's basically not strong enough to be considered like an exploit. Basically because of the fact that it lasts like 20 seconds or something. But it is a very powerful 20 seconds. You can do a lot of stuff. A lot of people are going to panic. Not everybody. I mean, of course, you can deal with it by simply using AoE stuff, using weapons that attack horizontally so that you don't have to aim that much. But yes, it is one other thing that's going to give you an advantage in a game where invaders are probably the most disadvantaged they've been, given the fact that anybody can deal insane amount of damage with almost any build. Now this is a very funny thing that happens with Seamless Co-op, and it is that sometimes you're gonna join a party where there's like a guy that's AFK and then his friends are like on the other side of the map doing whatever other shit. So you're going to be able to basically teleport to the people that are actually playing through the game, come back and still find the guy that's like AFK. But eventually they do return to the game. I mean, especially this guy that's on a menu. I cannot attack him when he's in the menu, so like I'm just waiting for him to come back, and he's going to see like this this guy with black robes and a Misericord. He's back, and he's just going to get backstabbed into oblivion, into the gulag or whatever. Well, it's just Seamless Co-op things. It's like random invasions, it's like almost like meme invasions. This is not like the kind of fight that usually goes that usually happens in Souls games, where it's like the 1v3 or whatever the fuck, the chaotic stuff. I really wish Elden Ring had like a 6-player limit, and I don't know anybody that didn't wish that. Like everybody wanted it to be that way, but anybody that played Dark Souls 3 basically wanted it to be that way, because Dark Souls 3, I think it has like one of the best PvP in that sense, in the sense that it's so chaotic. It would have been even more chaotic with Elden Ring, since, you know, everybody and their grandmother has like a dangerous projectile that they can use. I'm not a big katana guy, so I'm not really good at punishing people with katanas, but they are incredibly versatile weapons. They're super easy to use, really. Very good R2s. Probably not the best two-handed, but you know, sometimes I gotta switch, you know, into melee mode instead of just having only sorceries. Or it's probably best to use your tools, like mix up the use of your tools. And you're gonna probably, I'm going to include a clip where I got parried basically because I didn't use the full extent of my tools. But we're also rocking utility spells like Samur's Ice Storm and what's the name of this other spell? The spell with the poison, the Night's Maiden Mist. That's what I'm talking about, with the deceptively long range of this katana and the combo capabilities of it. It's a very fun arsenal overall, thematic as I like it. And holy shit, what an introduction to the invasion. Yeah, what a warm welcome. Now the no lock on thing here is playing to my advantage a little bit, but I wasn't able to finish off my enemy here, and that's a big mistake. That's basically the best chance I had to win against this duo in such a small space, such a dangerous space where I can just fall at any moment. Probably should have focused the big sword guy that dealt the most damage. But yeah, well, you can't win every fight, that's for sure. It's still really fun. They went for that pincer attack there at the end. Very cool to see. Of course, we also have the Kevins, and we just wait till these guys see that they cannot lock onto me. It's like the craziest shit. It's like a very strong thing. And it's kind of like a bug, yes, but I wish it wasn't. Like, we all wish it wasn't a bug. We all wish it was like the capability to be able to do this. Like, and the reason why I say it's a bug, I don't think it's intentional, is mainly because the order with which you activate the invisibility, Assassin's Gambit into hidden form, is crucial. I mean, if you use unseen form and then you use Assassin Gambit, I think it doesn't like go through, and people can still lock onto you, which is probably why, yeah, it's like a bug. It's not like an intended thing. But anyways, it's like a small thing that lasts a couple of seconds. The meat of the build, the important stuff in the build is the what any other build does, is stacking damage. Just stacking damage with whatever you're using, whatever you're doing. So yeah, pretty enjoyable build, I would say. This is the clip that I was talking about. This guy, the Parry King, went for parries so many times and I just couldn't resist. There I was doing like a relatively okay thing. It's like using the spells. Should have used Carrion Piercer since it's non-parryable and it's like a melee stuff, so it's not going to give him the projectiles. Yeah, just pressure him with Carrion Piercer is the play here 100% instead of going for R1s. You could have also swapped the order of spells there so that you have Miriam's Vanishing into Carrion Piercer, which helps people get thrown. It throws people off, basically because of the fact that Miriam's Vanishing removes lock-on. So it basically makes it so that people panic, they don't really know where you are, they lose track of you for a second, and that's all you need to charge up a Carrion Piercer and deal decent damage. I wanted to be really careful with this duo because they have, well, they know what they're doing. They have decent armor, they have the perfume buff. This guy didn't really pay too much attention to the spells I was throwing. Props to these guys for, you know, using the dried finger though. It's really fun to see like a co-invader, although in this case it was just me fighting them because no co-invader really likes to 1v2. But this will be an example of like this build going against a dude that has like more damage, just a better setup of armor and whatnot. A decent build, if you will. Estus Chungus, props to Estus Chungus for the fight. And yeah, overall, really fun intelligence build. Insane help from the PvE, and to finish them off in style, if you will, with Stars of Ruin, which is way worse, with like a way worse version of Star Shower, but it looks, you know, a little bit cooler because it's blue. Yeah, I think it could deal more damage, but the thing is that it doesn't stun, so it's never going to be as good as Star Shower. Yeah, but anyways, it's just, you know, a preference thing at this point. This is what I'm talking about, of the invisibility, making it so that players just make way more mistakes. And I don't think there's a Souls game that had this property of like not being able to lock on to your opponent. I think in Dark Souls 3, certain rooms were more difficult to lock on. Like if you entered a dark room in the Grand Library, I think it was more difficult to lock on to your enemies. In Dark Souls 2, you wanted to learn how to play without a lock on because it gave you more options to aim your weapons. But in Elden Ring, I guess we have invisibility. Well, anyways, guys, 3 days till Night Rain, so I'm super hyped for that. But that's all for today. Drake's all out. Bye!